Hello. This wasn't intended to be this week's video, but after watching 765874 Unification, I just had to talk about it. To say it's a fan-made Star Trek film is really underselling it. It's clearly made by people who love and understand the spirit of Star Trek, and William Shatner himself appears and is involved, which gives it that air of legitimacy. I think most fans felt a little shortchanged, shall we say, after Star Trek Generations. I like the movie, but Kirk's death is offensively underwhelming for such an iconic character. Reports are that Shatner wasn't satisfied with it either. Fast forward 30 years, and thanks to digital sorcery, we have 765874 Unification. It appears to exist in the moment of Kirk's death, a reflection on his life, the man he was and is, and revisits a couple of long-abandoned characters, giving them a nice ending too. It's esoteric in its delivery, so more Star Trek the Motion Picture than Wrath of Khan, but for me, Star Trek really hits its stride when it's delving into the philosophical as well as human connections, and this really works on both fronts. It's what J.J. Abrams completely avoided in his action-oriented remakes, but then he's on the record as preferring Star Wars because he didn't enjoy the philosophical aspect of Star Trek. And boy did it show. It's also what modern Trek completely fails to understand with its soulless overwrought and wholly unearned emotion by numbers and ready-made shallow relationships. With the exception perhaps of a fleeting moment with Picard Season 3. The short film has no dialogue, other than a brief voiceover, but the music and fabulous acting from a de-aged Shatner communicate far more without the need for words. I'd say that probably adds to its poignancy. Any words would fail to adequately express the emotional moments portrayed. I have to be honest, there's a little uncanny valley at the beginning, and I found myself focusing on the remarkable effects, which probably detracted from the intent of the piece initially. However, as it went on, I became immersed in the narrative, and when the final scene arrived, it had unexpectedly wormed its way into my head and heart, and I have to admit, I was deeply moved, and yes, the tears started falling. It captures remarkable pathos in its short runtime, which would enthrall the casual viewer purely seeing it as a stunning piece of filmmaking. But as a long-term fan of Trek, the film and ending encapsulates everything the original series and movies built and meant to me in a beautiful, tender denouement. I can thoroughly recommend giving it a watch, if you can find it, that is. I struggled even though it is on YouTube, so I've put a link in the description. Have you watched it yet, and were you overwhelmed by the imagery, or was it a little too uncanny valley for you to fully engage with? Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you've enjoyed the video. Until next time, peace out.